The first step to applying for a grant with the Community Foundation is to register with our web portal. You'll go to the Apply Now tab in the corner, and that'll take you to our web portal. So the first time you log on, you'll need to register by clicking this link, and then put in all of your information for your account, including your email address and your password, which should have 6 to 8 characters, at least one number, and no special characters. Then you'll accept the terms and conditions here, and then you're going to choose your portal access. In this situation, you'll either choose grant applicant or organization admin. The organization admin is the person who will be approving everyone else who can work on the grant application, so it will likely be someone the executive director or director of development. The organization admin needs to register first, then you can have as many grant applicants register as you want. There can also be multiple admins, they just have to be given permissions by the person who set up the account. If you're a grant writer working for multiple organizations, we suggest using a generic email address, not one associated with the organization. When you first register, you'll choose the organization, but afterwards you can go into your profile and add additional ones. You'll require approval from each organization admin before you can continue. So now that you'll choose your organization, you can use the search function here. And you'll see here's Community Foundation of Northern Illinois. I will choose that. And then it will allow you to copy the address information from the organization. In this case, you want to double check to make sure it's correct. In this case, this is not my phone number extension, but that is. So at that point, you'll hit register, and you'll need to wait for approval. Both levels of access require Community Foundation approval, so make sure to register as early as you can. Allow at least 24 hours, and there's no approvals processed at night or on weekends, so give yourself some time before you start working on the application. There's no notification when you've been approved, so we suggest checking by logging in after 9 a.m. the next business day. So now, the next time you go in, you'll instead choose the login button here. So here's my email address, and now I'll put in my password. And here I would choose the organization. If I were affiliated with more than one, there would be multiple here. And I click login. Okay. And for grant applicants, you will only have this menu. If you're an organization admin, you'll have both organization and grant applicant. In order for organization admins, to manage your members, you'll go to organization admin, manage members, and then here you'll be your options to create settings for everyone. In most cases, you'll give them submit access. So that means that they can't delete anything, but they can actually work on and submit the application. Okay, so when you're ready to work on your application, you'll go to the grant applicant home. And this is where you can see all your alerts, saved and available applications. Our application, when the application is live, you'll see it down here under available applications. So all you have to do is hit standard grant application. So when navigating through the application, use the buttons next, save, and exit rather than the back or the X button on your web browser. You might lose your work if you do that. We recommend saving often, at least at the end of every page, but it doesn't, after every completed question is better. We also suggest copying your answers into a Word document just in case something should happen. Here's some quick tips that I just said. So then I will go to next. And you'll see here, this is your basic information about your organization. If a box is pink or has a red asterisk, that means it's mandatory and must be filled in. Character limits include spaces, and blue question marks provide more detailed instructions about your questions. Okay, so this first tab asks for basic information regarding the organization. In almost every case here, you will be choosing the Community Grants program. Okay, and the type of support you choose will determine many of the questions you answer after this point. Choose event if the duration of your project is less than a week. Choose program if your proposed activity is ongoing, and this would include programs that run just during the school year, but would run for multiple years. And choose project if your activity has a starting and ending date and will last between 1 week and 3 years. So now you'll choose your focus area from this drop-down menu. You'll be asked later in the application how your proposal aligns with the criteria of your chosen focus area, so make sure you choose carefully. For multi-year grants, you can apply for up to 3 years of support. The total amount of funding you're requesting is for all 3 years. So if you were to choose yes, it will ask you how many years and then the amount requested total. So for example, if you ask for $10,000 per year for 3 years, your total grant request is $30,000. Part of the new application process is the $15,000 threshold. If you ask for less than that, your application will require far less budget and outcome information. Multi-year grants will still require the more extensive budget information, even if the total is less than $5,000 or $15,000. Okay, the next tab is organizational capacity. This is basic questions about your organization, the person filling out the application, and the organization leadership. For the type of organization, your options are 501c3, public university, religious organization or unit of government, or tax supported. If you are one of these, as well as a 501c3, so for example, if you're a church that also has its 501c3 status, choose 501c3. All right, and when we're asking for your logo, this we would like you to submit it as a JPEG or a PNG file. Otherwise, in most other cases, we're going to be asking for a PDF. So a lot of this information is auto-filled. All right, and now we have financial information. If it's above the threshold, you'll choose it here. And then that changes the amount of information that you need to enter. You should use the clarification box down at the bottom to tell us anything else we need to know about your financial situation, especially if it's been an atypical year. For example, you may have received a large bequest or made a significant capital investment this year, so your books don't accurately reflect your long-term financial situation, and that's something that we want to know. All of this information can be found in your audited financial statements, but it is directly connected to your 990, so you should be able to just copy the information directly. Once that's complete, then you'll hit next to go to the community need tab. This establishes who will be served by your proposal and why it's necessary. Make sure you use this space to tell us how your proposal aligns with your chosen focus area. For example, an outdoor education program relates to sustainable development because it increases the region's understanding of the environment. Okay, and so this is just more information about that. And you can see here, these white boxes are not mandatory because they aren't in pink or have an asterisk. But this little blue question mark here gives you more information about that. Here under the Proposal Plan tab, you'll give us more of the nitty-gritty details on your proposal. So tell us exactly how you're going to be using the money that we give you. You'll also find a lot more of your contingent questions here. For example, if you're providing direct services to clients, you'll hit yes, and there'll be a lot more questions about how much time you're going to be spending with them and such. If you're not, you'll just click no, and those questions will go away. And here down at the bottom, we do ask for supporting information. You don't have to provide any of that, but if you have it, it's a bonus. Things like photos of an ongoing program or facilities, promotional materials, news articles, annual reports, etc. However, if it's a new program and you don't have it, there's no penalty for not providing it. All right, and now here, if you are going to be collaborating with any other organizations, which we highly recommend, you'll hit yes here to answer questions about that. We use the collective impact model, which you can which you can click on here to read more about it in detail for exactly what we're looking for and what we'll be assessing. This is all of these questions are based directly on that model. And if you are collaborating with a local school or school district, we do need you to provide a letter of support from the superintendent of the district, so we know that they're aware and partnering with you on the project. So you'll attach here as a PDF. If you're above the $15,000 multi-year threshold, we'll also ask for letters of support from all of the organizations that you're partnering with. All right, here on the outcomes page, if you're above the $15,000 threshold, we'll need at least 2 potential outcomes listed. We're looking for meaningful, measurable indicators of the activity's success, like improved grades for participants in an after-school program. Tell us what you want to change and how you'll measure it. If your proposed activity already exists, discuss past successes, and if it's new, tell us why it will work. You can read more about measuring outcomes by following this link. Next. All right, and here is the budget. You can find the budget template on our website under the grant section. Once it's complete, upload it as a PDF. In most versions of Excel, you can do this through the Save As function. Otherwise, you can use a program like Primo PDF to change it. We also ask that you explain a budget narrative, or provide a budget narrative to explain exactly what you're going to use the money for. And then the grant agreement. Instead of sending in a grant agreement by mail after your proposal is accepted, we've included it in the application. This saves time for both parties, and grantees will receive their checks sooner once they've been provided by the board. It's a standard form developed by the Community Foundation created by the Council on Foundations to create an understanding between both parties about each's responsibilities. You also get a copy with your check. So scroll through to the bottom, click that you agree, and then hit submit. At this point, you're done. And if you don't receive a notification that it's been submitted fairly quickly, please call our office right away to make sure that it's been received.